Hello everyone, I'm Hugo. No. I know. And
I've lost all identity.
I get it. And this is Hugo and Jake. Welcome back. We're here to watch yet another Ray Comfort video. We've already downgraded from film to movie to video.
Okay, this is...
Next I'm gonna say audio-visual pamphlet.
Okay, Ray, you're on the DC rule. From now on, you get one shot. So the next one better be good. It better be saying something. Or the one I'm not watching any of the other ones, no matter how much you poke me.
Because it's not worth it.
Like it's just not happening. So start making some good content because you're running out.
So here's what happened. The trailer, which we watched earlier, you could have seen our video on that, made it clear that this video was going to be Ray taking on his critics. It was going to take on internet, specifically atheists. He even included us in the trailer. He was going to talk about them talking about him, which implies, I think, to a certain extent that he's going to address points and criticisms that he has garnered online by people like us.
Sure.
None of that's in the movie because that's not what the movie's about. The movie is a strange attempt to make everyone trust us, guys. Trust us. Ray Comfort's totally cool with the Banana Man thing and not at all super insecure about it.
It's just... He's been doing this bit since the fucking 90s with the banana thing. And he doesn't, he still, to this day, even after being told, doesn't understand
why we find it funny.
Why it's funny to us that he continues to do it, or continued. He stopped, he got embarrassed, and then like now, I think it was 2006 when the video with him and Kirk came out that got edited up, because he was doing it before.
Sure.
But that's really what made it go big.
Yeah.
And He just so it took him that long. It took him fucking 12 years to make a rebuttal. It's fucking weird. It's really weird, and the fact that he's charging money for this makes me think Ray needs help. So
by the way, if you want to get this, if you type in the code atheist as a coupon code, it's only $5.
Don't do that
instead of $20.
Don't do that. Don't buy this.
Don't buy this.
Anyway, so here's the fool.
It's going to be a little less structured than normal. It's going to be more just clip and then us rebutting clip, mostly because there isn't a real structure to this thing outside of Ray trying to tell us why we shouldn't be making fun of him.
It's literally a timeline of events of him being like, "No, it was a joke, guys."
Here we go.
Oh shit! This is footage from right before it happened.
9/11, right before 9/11 happened.
No.
Oh.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Are you okay? The Spider-Man with the... It just came out? Are you good?
Never forget. What's your next one?
456.
Okay, I have 3.
3?
Yeah.
Do you have to read?
A lot of these I'm probably gonna have to because they're so fucking long. Let me see if I can paraphrase this.
Most of the thoughts we don't... Like, I wrote things too, but I probably should have just written bullet points for each instead, because...
I'd been crossing swords with atheists since the early 1980s in Speaker's Corner back in my home country of New Zealand. The man in front of me yelling was Steve, an angry atheist who day after day for years tried to stop the crowd from hearing what I was saying. He was very unreasonable and would do everything he could to mock me and make me look foolish.
Now, I want you guys to recognize what Ray is doing here and how he is framing this. He has framed himself here because essentially what he and this guy are doing is the same thing. They're soapboxing in a public square.
Yeah.
What Ray is doing is bringing Christ to the masses. However, when an atheist comes and tries to debunk what he's saying, he's an angry atheist who just can't keep under control.
Yeah.
Ray will continually, and has in the past and will in the future, continue to frame things in these ways to try and make it seem from the outset that he is right and everyone else who disagrees with him is wrong.
Well, also that he is not just wrong, but he's like downtrodden.
Martyred!
I'm about to do that same Coke can and banana parody that makes fun of atheism, and I'm not sure if I can get my listeners to crack a smile. This is because atheists don't think of their beliefs as being ridiculous and therefore worthy of ridicule.
No, Ray, you can absolutely make fun of atheism. We've made fun of atheism before. It's just that your material isn't funny. It's based in fallacious preconceptions. So, of course, with a setup that doesn't make sense, your punchlines fail. You're failing to consider the audience, and therefore the joke isn't funny.
I don't know. We'd have to give him lessons or something. I feel like he genuinely doesn't understand how joke structures work.
Okay, generally, your setup is something that's true.
Something true. Okay, so pants are bad. Nope, that was the whole joke itself. I don't like pants.
I don't think we understand comedy either. See why this is falling apart.
Yeah.
It just happened.
And over those 20 years, I'd always got a laugh from Christians as soon as I produced the banana.
Behold, the atheist's nightmare.
But this was going to be different.
Behold, the atheist's nightmare. Now, if you study a well-made banana, of which this is, you'll find on the far side, 3 grooves, on the close side, 2 grooves. The banana and the hand are perfectly made, one for the other.
There was a little laughter, but it may have been cynical, which is understandable.
They were laughing at your ridiculous point, Ray. It wasn't cynical, it was laughter at your fundamental misunderstanding of how your own arguments work. Bananas were artificially selected by humans to have the traits you claim were placed there by a deity. That's funny because it shows a lack of research and understanding beyond your theological worldview. They're laughing at you because you didn't put the least bit of thought into your argument. It's a perfect microcosm of the young earth creationist in a brief little story. That's why it's funny. You yourself became the punchline of the joke when you told that joke. You get what I'm saying?
I do. I understand.
I don't think he does, because he made a whole movie still not understanding why people find it hilarious.
Is an hour-long thing where he recycles clips from old things a movie?
Audio-visual pamphlet.
If that's a movie, we've made movies about other movies. This is a movie.
We're in a movie!
We're in a fucking movie! This is a movie set!
There's Brad Pitt.
No, why can we bring...
They'll believe me, we're on a movie!
Billions of years ago, there was a big bang in space. And from the big bang issued this huge rock. And on top of the rock was found a sweet, bubbly substance. And over millions of years, aluminum crept up the side and... Say, man, what are you doing? You're insulting my intellect. And so I am. You know, if the Coca-Cola can is made, there must be a maker. Behold, the atheist's nightmare. And the maker has even curved it toward the face to make the whole process so much easier. Of course, if you give one of these to a chimpanzee, it hasn't got the sense to use the tab. They all go like that, open this end, entirely disproving Darwin's theory tale of evolution.
Okay, so this has a Coke can in it, and the original clip didn't have a Coke can because it was edited, and he thinks that the addition of the Coke can, so now it's funny, because now you have more than one example, because he goes through the Coke can and he makes the same arguments, because he says that, like, evolution is stupid. Ray, did you know that Coke cans can't fuck each other because they're Coke cans? So they don't apply to evolution. They're cans. They can't bang. Natural selection can't occur. They can't even fight over resources. Coke cans are really bad examples of this.
The basis of your joke / parable
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't. None of you understand. Your preferred audience doesn't understand that either, which is why you get laughs from them. Like, I don't know. He says, "Oh, this works in with Christians," or however his accent works.
Right.
Because you're all dumb. You're all very dumb.
The young earth ones, yeah.
Not every Christian is dumb. All of your positive audience is dumb.
Yeah, okay.
In 2001, the actor Kirk Cameron heard one of my sermons, which resulted in us combining ministries. And Kirk and I were about to film an episode on the subject of atheism for season 1 of our television program. When I told him I'd like to do the banana routine, he was concerned that atheists would mock me for it. My thought was that it was for Christian television and atheists wouldn't even get to see it.
Ray's argument here seems to be, see, Christians think I'm funny, you atheists just don't have a sense of humor. Again, no, they're laughing because you and they share common misconceptions about the origin of the universe, so the jokes make sense within the incorrect internal logic you're presenting. Him trying his material at an atheist convention is like a flat earther comedian trying his bits that killed at the flat earth convention at an astronomy gathering and being confused why he bombed. Audience background matters in comedy, Ray. Your material isn't funny because it only makes sense if you have false preconceptions about science and the world. You have to be ignorant for your joke to land because it is based on an ignorant worldview. Because jokes follow a logic. A, B, C. Setup, punchline. Okay?
Okay.
Glad we cleared that up. Because he made a whole fucking...
You made him angry, Ray.
Things were humming until I was told that the banana parody was all over the internet. I couldn't understand why it would be. Someone had captured it from our television program, removed the Coke can portion so that the parody didn't make sense.
Okay, using the banana as part of the comedy bit, that's fine. The problem where it fell apart, as I mentioned earlier, is you used a Coke can for literally the same joke. You just changed items. So it doesn't work. And then, after that bombed for several years, and you got called out, it took you 17 years to make an hour-long movie, which is basic premises. I was just joking. You can't take 17 years to do something. When you found out this wasn't funny, Tobey Maguire was still a household name. It makes it inert. It makes it void.
That was pre-Best Kiss, I think, at the MTV
That
Movie
was
Awards.
pre-Best Kiss, because in Spider-Man 1, Mary Jane says, "I love you, Pete," at the end, and he's like, "No! I'm Spider-Man, you can't love me, you'll be in danger." And then Harry, he saw Peter standing over his dead dad after his dead dad stabbed himself with the Green Goblin.
Let's reel in the Spider-Man a little bit. Okay, the point here, Ray.
Yeah, you're bad. You're bad at jokes.
Okay.
That's the point.
3 years had passed. Our television program was now in its 3rd season, was award-winning, and it was airing in 170 countries.
Prayer is the line of communication.
It was popular because it was unique for Christian television.
Hey, I thought you told me this was a private beach.
They're building a high-rise.
Doesn't sound like construction to me. Death can come when you're least expecting it. You can get up, Ray. It's just a flesh wound.
Why are we watching an ad for Ray's TV show?
Because this $20 digital download found at livingwaters.com is Ray's way of making us pay $20 to watch ads.
Oh, fuck, he's brilliant.
I need to get on that racket.
Hire me, Ray.
Then he said that the original banana wasn't that shape and that it had been genetically altered to fit the human hand. It even produced a motion graphic in an effort to convince people that it had nothing to do with God making it for mankind.
Correct. Bananas as we know them were created by humans. A morph effect isn't being dishonest. It's pointing out why your argument is bad by visually showing how different natural bananas are from those cultivated by humans. Does Ray still not get why we find this funny? Because you ascribed design duties to a god confidently, while it was widely available information that humans are why bananas are the way they are. We find your material funny because it's representative of the exact kind of specious reasoning rampant among young Earth creationists, such as yourself. It's a microcosm of your idiocy. That's the joke.
There were Banana Man videos, Banana Man songs, and many Banana Man memes. My face Facebook page became inundated by thousands of atheists and became almost impossible to moderate.
And again, it's all because you said a silly thing. This isn't about atheists not getting why your comedy bit is funny. It's about you not getting why your comedy bit is actually funny.
When high-profile atheists invited me onto their programs, they seemed surprised that I was able to string a whole sentence together, and they'd let me share the gospel. Who cares? It was kind of entertaining. And so began a strange and wonderful journey.
So here Ray uses a clip from an episode in which we discuss Ray and Living Waters falsely flagging a review of Audacity that we did, and then he had to send us an apology fruit basket so we wouldn't sue him into submission. Yes, I believe that's correct.
Yeah. Oh, didn't mention that in the movie, did you, Ray?
Weird!
When atheists reviewed our movies, they would get a massive audience.
Ray, the video we put out there was from September 8th, 2015. So based on this snapshot you took of it, it means you've been sitting on this screenshot for 2 years before you put it in a movie? The views aren't even right. It's still called The Bible Reloaded. Ray, it makes me feel a little weird. I don't know if it's like sexual excitement or like fear
that
you brood over me for 2 years. Ooh, he had that. Who saves picture files for 2 years and then remembers they had it and then goes back? Does he have a file with our names on it?
I hope so. I hope it's
How long did it take to put this together?
I hope he opens up his decanter and lets it breathe a little bit, and he starts sifting through his Hugo and Jake files until he finds a juicy one. Like the Butternips. Have you seen the Butternips,
You should go to the That was a podcast-a-thon.
Worth it. You will finish to a completion so complete you will not be fully full again until the new business year.
Is that regardless of when it happens?
It resets.
Like if he does it like December 29th.
It resets your balls. Sometimes it sets it to a Japanese business year, and that gets really fucking confusing because I don't know anything about their hibbity. But point stands.
A lot of honor there.
Balls will be empty, bro.
If there's anything we want for you, it's empty balls.
Atheists found they could get video views by using my name in a derogatory way.
We made it, folks! We're in a Ray Comfort audio-visual pamphlet.
We did it. Also, by the way, Ray, for your information, we weren't calling you Satan. It was a skit in which you play God, I play Gabriel, and then a friend of ours, Adam Reeks, who is an Australian man, he does a pretty good impression of your Kiwi accent.
Back to the snake thing. I like the idea of being a snake.
What if you're a snake, but let's give you hands and legs until the character exits? I want you to have a hands, legs snake. No, it's not a lizard.
That sounds like a lizard.
This won't be, though. I understand. I just don't think you're appreciating the picture I'm trying to paint you.
It's a lizard.
Snake, skinny like a snake, hands and legs like a lizard. But it still has a snake body.
Right.
Okay, fuck you guys. I'll use it for one story, and then we can just have normal snakes and normal lizards, and they'll be separate. But for this one story, I want my goddamn snake lizard.
Right. Okay, well, that sounds equally ludicrous to everything else we're talking about. But what about the story we're talking about? This, how are we going to communicate? Are we going to make some sort of book? We're going to tell the peasants to write down some sort of book?
He came on, and Ray Comfort, the fake Ray Comfort, was playing the part of Satan in that skit. So really, it was the actor Ray Comfort playing Satan, not...
If you want to come on and play Satan sometime,
you can absolutely do that anytime. Okay. Anytime you want to. You have to swear though. That's the rules. And I won't make you say fuck or anything. Like what do you think the minimum swear word we can get Ray to say is? Not damn, something higher than damn but lower than fuck. Jackass? That's got a little punch to it.
I want to hear him say,
"Oi God, you're a jackass." I don't know if that's correct.
I want to hear him say he's going to punch someone in their fart box.
In their fart box? It's not a swear, but I do like it.
Yeah.
Will you say that you're going to tongue punch them in the fart box?
That's just tossing a salad.
Nah, not a tongue punch is different from a salad toss. Salad toss has the mid and fore palate. Tongue punch only has the fore palate.
All right.
Next joke.
It was as though Banana Man was the star of a twisted superhero series. The analogy seemed to fit.
Ray, listen, I'm glad for you. I mean, I'm not really glad for you because at the end of the day, I think your message is wrong and I think you're spreading it to people. But luckily, I don't think you're doing a very good job. So, hey, right side. Other than that, at the end of the day, while I'm happy for your personal success, refrain from comparing yourself to either the Iron Giant or Superman, because you, sir, are neither.
I'm a very ordinary believer who was given a special cloak of humiliation that supernaturally opened doors into the elite atheist community.
Did you just call the atheist community elite? Or that we have an elite aspect to it?
Oh, God.
Because you're crazy. Are you kidding me?
Have you seen my face?
Have you been to an atheist event? Like, my most exclusive atheism experience, and, like, I have friends in the community. I talk to them. People have my number. We discuss things. We compare neck beards. I think the most exclusive thing, we were in a cheap hotel with Matt Dillahunty and he played guitar for a while.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Is that elite? If that's elite, then this is a fucking throne, a double throne.
Double throne.
Double throne. We should get a double throne. What are we doing with this thing?
I don't know.
Let's convert this to a double throne.
Let's get dragons.
Real ones or like, just like...
Real ones.
Yeah, Komodos or...
Real ones.
It seems strange to me that any atheist would want to debate dumb old Banana Man. One was a high-profile atheist named Thunderfoot, whose YouTube channel had more than 170 million views. It especially came to our ministry for a debate on the existence of God.
Oh God, is it time to talk about solar roadways again? Oh God! Why doesn't it end? All the solar roadways, they're not economically viable.
Lakefield Road, Town Line Road, Steel Road.
Okay.
Remember your home.
Okay.
Remember your home and the good times. Shit, there wasn't any good times! It was bad! Remember creamed corn!
Not a big fan of Thunderfoot.
No.
For many years, myself and a friend named Stuart Scott preached the gospel each Saturday at Southern California's famed Huntington Beach.
How many of each animal did Moses take into the ark? 2.
God damn it, Ray, it wasn't 2! Watch the show! Watch the show, Ray! Or read the book. You have them around.
A lot of them, I guess.
I'm sure you have it around. It's like page 4. Read to 5. Come on.
Well, 7 years ago at this very spot, I got to speak with an atheist named Jorgen. And this interview has become very special because of what happened. Jorgen, are you a spiritual person?
No, I'm not.
So you don't know what created everything?
No.
But obviously it wasn't nothing, because nothing can't create anything. So something created everything in the beginning.
Maybe.
So you're not an atheist?
Ray, that's not how atheism works. You can believe something created the universe, whether, as long as it has to be a natural occurrence, but it doesn't even have to be. It's just that most atheists are naturalists. It just depends on the belief. It doesn't have to be, as long as it's not supernatural, basically, as long as it's not a deity, then you could be an atheist, as long as it's not a consciousness. It could be literally, you could say like, I'm a solipsist. You can still be an atheist and a solipsist. You know what I mean? So, like, you can create the universe, and it doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you have it all wrong. You have it all wrong. You confuse evolution with creation, and you confuse creation with the reason people are atheists, but they're all different concepts that happen to line up because they follow the naturalistic view of which most atheists hold. Because naturalism is fucking what's real. Naturalism is just what's real, and if atheists believe in nothing else, it's what's real. So, that's where it is. I know you didn't listen, Ray. I know you didn't listen. Did New Zealanders have, like, ADHD or something? Like, why do we have to... It's been 15 years. Do we have to explain this more?
No, he set his mustache to mute, and it mutes all incoming sound waves all across his face. It never reaches his ears.
Oh. Read lips, Ray.
Did I see I Want to Have Your Babies in there? Can I read lips?
If atheism was a religion, Charles Darwin would be their prophet, and his book, Origin of Species, would be their holy book.
I hear this a lot from Christians, that, like, Charles Darwin is our prophet and the Origin of Species is our Bible, but it's more like, if atheism were a religion, he would be one of the prophets, and Origin of Species would be like Leviticus or something, something you don't use anymore but has some intrinsic value within the broader context of all the literature combined.
If you had to put it in those terms.
Yeah, I'm saying, so he's like whoever wrote Leviticus, and that's, so like some of the stuff in Origin of Species is real, but really it's just more fascinating to find out where the theory began and kind of the observations of like a proto-evolutionary thought in regards to naturalism and stuff. So I don't know. I have to keep repeating myself. It's naturalism. He's not that important to us. We could go without Charles Darwin and all the things would still be true that we have now.
Atheism and evolution are not intrinsically linked in the same way that he seems to think it is.
I don't know why.
I don't get why.
You could be a Christian and believe in evolution.
Sure. Evolution has been accepted science for 150 years. Yeah. Even if there was a deity proven definitively tomorrow, it would still have to account for all of the evidence, all the fossil evidence, the DNA evidence. For
and
all of
frankly,
that stuff.
if it were proved, it would account for all the evolution.
Sure.
It would, because it would be true.
And also, you know how I know Origin of Species is not a holy book for atheists? Almost none of them have read it. You know why?
Because we don't need to.
150-year-old dry textbook about a dude going to islands and looking at birds. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, seminal work in biology.
But I'm not a biologist.
Dry read.
You know what? I've read more of the Bible than I have of any evolution book.
Sure.
Any.
Yeah. I know more about the world than
unless you
what
count,
I've read
unless
in
you
the evolution
count. No,
books.
even the selfish gene and stuff. I haven't read that to completion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's read me to completion though. Call me Richard. Why am I gay in this video? I'm gay for old men in this video. I wonder what happens when we turn the camera off.
I don't think it's the camera.
Am I still old guy gay?
When I found that the book was in public domain, I had an idea. I'd write a foreword exposing evolution as being unscientific and, of course, present the gospel, and then give away free copies at universities. I had blasphemed atheism's sacred writings and insulted their prophet by merely writing a foreword. Then I read of what atheists plan to do. Quote, there is already a 1,000-member Facebook group focused on interfering with Comfort's distribution of The Origin of Species. So we decided to change our plans. We were going a day early. Atheists came up to us wide-eyed saying, you're not supposed to be here today. They told us they didn't even have their printing done and how they hadn't finalized their plans to counter-protest. 170,000 copies were given out in 100 universities in one day, mostly unhindered.
Okay, so atheists still showed up despite you showing up an entire day early. Mm-hmm. No one was mean to you, begrudging assaulted you in the way that you painted them as if they were going to assault you.
Has anyone ever assaulted Ray Comfort?
No.
He's not like that militaristic to where anyone I think would need to like buck against him that hard.
No, it's almost like Ray's a drama queen who likes to paint himself as a martyr in every circumstance applicable, despite the fact that he's totally fine. He's very intellectually honest. Crackerjack job, Ray. You're nailing it. I like the term crackerjack job.
Do you think Ray used to use that term? Crackerjack job.
Crackerjack.
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 That doesn't sound right.
He wants to be friends with Penn Jillette so bad, by the way.
I want to be friends with Penn Jillette.
Oh, sure, but we have things in common with Penn Jillette.
Like we're old man gay. You can't tell me he doesn't fuck Teller. Come on. He can't even yell if something goes wrong.
If something...
Yeah.
That shows
he can't say no!
This shows a misunderstanding of their dynamic as a team and gay relationships.
So, was mass murder wrong in Germany?
It comes down to this very tough decision of what is beneficial for society and what is beneficial for the individual.
So you're saying murder is right or wrong? Can you say it's absolutely wrong to murder someone, or you say it's good, could be good for the good of society?
I would go for exactly the answer that you gave, which is it's contingent.
Okay, Ray, the problem with your thinking here is how binary it is. Asking whether murder is right or wrong, and although you qualify in a minute with self-defense not being murder, it's still murder if you kill someone. It just happens to be for a reason.
Within a context.
Within a context, which is what Thunderfoot is describing, is he's saying within context, murder is reasonable. So, for instance, is it self-defense to, say, kill a Nazi that is looking for Jews, but it's his first day. He's never hurt anybody, but he's looking for Jews. You know he's probably going to be at least indirectly responsible for their harm. Is that self-defense to kill that guy? I don't think it is. I don't think, but I don't think it's morally incorrect either. I think it's probably makes a lot of sense to be like, oh fuck, that's an SS officer. I'm a Jew. I'm going to leave.
Even if you're not a Jew, it makes it more interesting because that guy's not going to come after you, but he's going to come after someone else. That's not self-defense. That's defense of others. Again, Ray, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about contextualizing moral events. Morals do not exist within a vacuum. Nothing exists within a vacuum. That is why we have to have these discussions. Morality is not a noun. It is a verb. It is something you do and take place and confront.
Yeah. He also goes on to say things like stealing and lying are incorrect. Let's stick with the Nazi thing because he brought it up because Godwin's law just can't ever not apply to anything with Ray. But that's fine. We'll stick with it. Can you lie to that SS officer to protect the Jews you're hiding in your attic? Can you steal bread to feed them?
Sure.
These are all moral ideas that I think everyone finds obvious unless you have to apply God's morality to it. Because one could imply... and they did, the Nazis, that is, imply from biblical scripture that those that are set to be killed by powerful people are often ordained to be by God, which I would find morally bankrupt, as opposed to trying to prevent that. I'm just throwing that out there, Ray. And you probably don't see it like this. That's okay, but I really wish you did, because it would change your conversations a little bit, and probably your life. And you wouldn't be so sad, and you wouldn't be making DVDs for... $20. At least upgrade to Blu-ray.
In August of 2011, a well-known magician named Dean Dill came to our ministry and entertained our staff with a little magic. Short time later, someone sent Dean another Penn Jillette video in which he expressed frustration that intelligent people believe silly stories such as Noah and the Ark.
Based on your personality and reputation, I can pretty confidently say Penn Jillette didn't want you to talk to Penn Jillette. But hey, again, whatever helps you sleep at night. Guy who puts like 30 blurred photos of the guy who didn't want to appear in film.
That's so weird.
In film. There's like 30... that's hyperbole. There's like 4 or 5 pictures of Penn Jillette.
Well, then there's... if each frame in a film is a picture, then it's well over 30.
Sure, whatever. There's like 4 or 5 pictures of Penn Jillette in the movie as he's talking about Penn Jillette, but clearly he couldn't get legal clearance to show Penn Jillette, but he keeps putting the pictures up anyway.
Yeah, and
dude, this dude
quotes.
He has such a man crush on Penn Jillette, and I get it. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's fine, man. I like Penn.
But chill out.
It's alright. He's a little libertarian for my taste, but I still like him.
Yeah. He doesn't like you, Ray. Not like that.
Dean, I would crawl over broken glass for 10 miles to interview Penn on camera about the existence of God. It would be a heart's deepest desire for me to do this. When his attempt to get us together didn't come to fruition, I concluded that God didn't want me to speak with Penn Jillette. Richard Dawkins once tweeted, "Any fetus is less human than an adult pig." Someone asked if I'd like him to hand-deliver something to Dawkins. I grabbed a 180 DVD and wrote a quick note of greeting on the front. I deliberately cut back the word thought to thought, as I often did when texting and sending out tweets. He was so delighted with what he thought was more evidence of my ignorance, producing a video about it.
He would like to hear my thoughts, Thorts.
I couldn't have bought such publicity. His promotion immediately pushed 180 further into the atheist community.
Again, Ray here tries to look on the bright side of things. He says, sure, people are making fun of me for this Banana Man thing. I'd still argue he doesn't understand exactly why people are laughing at him for it. He doesn't understand at all. But he's saying, it's allowed me to bring my message and gospel to people. Now, the thing about this is, Ray, again, you're missing the idea of context and nothing exists within a vacuum. When people like us, and I think primarily a lot of people see your videos through us because they wouldn't otherwise, because they only see you as a figure to kind of poke fun at and poke and get reactions out of. And I think that's a little unfair, but we all get that when you're in the public sphere to some extent. Sure. You know what I mean? Around me are familiar faces. The way in which your material is being talked about also matters. The context. When we bring something to people, sure, we're sending your message out to people, but also with our own little, fair use added attributions that say, here is why what you said was wrong.
Yeah.
So certainly lots and lots and lots of people are hearing the name Ray Comfort, but they're hearing it with the words, is an idiot.
Yeah,
and
that's
that
not a good
matters.
thing. I'm glad that you are taking a bright side to this, because maybe this could crush a weaker man.
Maybe,
but not you. You have that. You have the mustache acts as a flying buttress for his psyche.
Yeah,
and it holds it up.
It probably didn't help that he couldn't get Kirk Cameron to come back for this movie to film new bits.
Are you and Kirk on okay terms? Are you guys speaking?
I haven't seen them together in a while.
Quite a bit. I mean, that's fine. Regardless of how you and Kirk are, you're on better terms with him than we are.
That's fine.
So that's, you know what I'm saying? So, like, by the way, if Kirk wants to come on the show, like, yes, please. Shirtless if you can. God damn, I'm gay. Fuck. I'm gonna have to break up with the girl. Hey, babe! I'm real gay! Okay.
I was speaking at a creation museum in Southern California at which there is a crowd of 50 or so atheists who are protesting outside in the heat. And so I invited them to join me in air conditioning in a debate about the existence of God. Then afterwards I'd buy them pizza.
You asked us if we had faith. I wanted to ask you which definition of faith from the dictionary you're referring to.
I don't have faith that God exists. I know he exists because of creation or nature. I have confidence in the character of God and his integrity to keep his word.
Okay, Ray, you just completely ignored what that guy said. His point was your faith is baseless without merit because it isn't based on evidence and it's based on faith for faith's sake alone, which is a different proposition entirely. Does Ray think he nailed this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In 2013, I made a number of calls to evolutionary professors and left messages saying that I was a filmmaker and wanted to ask them for evidence of evolution. None could give me any evidence for Darwinian evolution. All they could offer was speciation and adaptation, from the Chihuahua to the Great Dane. That's just a variety within the dog kind. It's not Darwinian evolution, which looks for a change of kind.
We talked about this at great length in our fuller review of Evolution versus God, but basically what Ray is saying here is, surprise, surprise, very dishonest. Kinds is not a scientific term. It's strictly a term creationists pull from the Bible so they can try and discredit evolution by drawing arbitrary distinctions and moving goalposts for what counts as evidence for evolution. Adaptation and speciation are evolution on the short scale of time, the accumulation of smaller adaptations over time to create larger and larger differences is evolution. Ray just refuses to accept this because it flies in the face of his strictly biblical worldview.
Jacqueline Glenn believed that there was scientific evidence for evolution on our cutting room floor.
Ray, along with the American Atheists, I ask that you release these unedited interviews.
All she needed to do was ask the scientist what we'd supposedly removed. But she didn't, because we hadn't removed any so-called evidence.
But see, the thing you missed about this entire story, Ray, is you never did release...
You never did.
You never did release the rest of that footage, and it becomes very clear the more of your material that you watch of your stuff, that you very heavily edit these interviews. Yeah. You are shown time and time again to be a dishonest filmmaker, if that's what you want to call yourself. I'm being very generous there. It's dishonest, and it's obvious dishonesty. And if you think you're fooling anyone outside of your blue-haired granny audience that's sending you $5 a month or whatever to your ministry to keep the lights on, you're wrong, and you're not going to get outside of that bubble to get more of that money, because I assume that's what you're in this for, because I can't see any other reason after this movie why you're in it.
Well,
you're never going to expand outside of that because you're so dishonest, and people don't like dishonesty.
If you think about it, there's not a lot of money in $20 pro-evolution DVDs that last an hour.
Yeah, no, because then once you watch, you're like, okay, I get a basic understanding of what's going on.
You could have gone to YouTube for free.
Sure.
So yeah, he's in the wrong game to be reasonable.
Yeah. Guess so.
In 2013, I made one small move and in came the hungry hawks for a juicy feast. It happened because I had responded to an atheist named Leonie when she called me a bibliophile. It looked like a cross between the word Bible and pedophile. Atheists regularly use made-up words like retard, a person who followed me and was therefore retarded. I replied, quote, Leonie, I'm the one that should be apologizing. I thought it was just another atheist insult, a cross between pedophile and Bible. My sincere apologies. Still learning. Best wishes. Priceless gem. Ray Comfort insulted to be called bibliophile. Thought it meant pedophile. Oh, joy. End of quote. Suddenly, my literary ignorance became breaking news for atheists. It seemed that everyone in the entire atheist community suddenly knew the definition of bibliophile. If Banana Man was beginning to be laid to rest, he certainly was resurrected that day with a shout. My consolation, though, was that this wasn't the first time a Christian had been used for entertainment.
Ray, why do you make everything so dramatic? We find the things you do funny again because it often showcases a cocksure confidence without the knowledge to back it up. It's so on brand for creationism, it's funny and you don't get it. It's not some swarm of piranhas hungrily awaiting to devour you. You put yourself out there as a public figure and make glaring mistakes time and time again. People are gonna laugh at that. People laugh at me when I do that. That's part of it. That's being in the public eye, especially when you say very silly things like thinking the earth is 6,000 years old. People want to know what crazy mustache grandpa is gonna say next. It's not something that just blows over. You're crazy mustache grandpa.
You gotta steer into it. Like you're trying. You made a whole video about how nah, guys, you just didn't get the joke. No, you don't get it. You don't get it, and I want for you to get it. Something inside of me wants Ray Comfort to understand why we laugh at him, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about you. Maybe it's the stash. Maybe it's your smile, your little twinkle in your eye when you think you got somebody. I want you to understand why what you say is dumb, and not like to make you feel dumb so that you won't do it anymore.
Right, and this isn't you being, again, you take everything as you're being martyred.
I don't want you to feel
tested.
bad.
No. Some of your problems are your own fault, Ray.
I'd say most of his problems.
Except this. Your life will be better. Anyway, that's the self-help Ray portion of the video. It's over now.
It's always difficult to draw a crowd to listen to the gospel, so we would ask trivia questions and give away money for the answers. But we had a problem. Each week, an atheist named Ken knew the answers and would continually take our money. No matter how many times we asked him to let other people answer and get the money, he wouldn't stop.
What is the #1 killer of drivers in the United States? Anyone know? Trees! Who said trees? Ken, you made another $1.
Atheists often ask for a sign. One day, Ken got one.
Ken, come and get your money! Ken is an atheist. He's here every week getting money because he knows me. The poor guy's...
I'm suddenly suffering from a little bit of amnesia. I'm not quite sure.
That was funny, though.
Wait, the big payoff for the guy who took probably tens, maybe hundreds of dollars from Ray Comfort, the big payoff for him was he ran into a sign and it lightly tapped him.
I thought it was going to be like he found Jesus.
No, that guy just towed...
He towed a sign with his bike and it fell on him a little bit. But not even like hard. It wasn't like it smushed him to dust. It was like...
Ray, you recognize what you did is you just showcased you getting scammed by that guy day after day and him taking your money. And you were like, ha-ha, sign fell on him.
Like, that guy was paying for lunch because of you, which is fine. Like, I mean, maybe he needed the money or maybe he just thought it was funny. I don't know.
Like you didn't get a win there. He didn't get a win either. It was just kind
just
of
like nobody
weird,
wins. It's just kind of one of those, you lost $5 a week and he got lunch or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird one.
He's very desperate for a win.
It's kind of like Kevin with that bucket of chili.
I almost want to give him one. I don't know how I'd give him one.
I don't know. How do we...
Maybe let him on this show one time. That'd be a win for him. Anyway.
This is hell.
Why is it hell?
Because look, this is blown. This town is blown. This is our hell. We have to deal with our own problems and our own complaints and our own lifestyle.
Do you believe in God?
Of course. Whoop, whoop.
He judged you by the 10 Commandments. Would you be innocent or guilty?
Probably guilty.
You take a big risk when you pray for someone publicly, especially if they have a parrot on their shoulder.
I think Ray needs to start interviewing a different crowd It might just be me, but the toothless mohawk guy and the land pirate might not be the greatest ambassadors of mental health. I think maybe let's not make fun of these people anymore, Ray. Maybe you always pick the weird ones. I don't know why. I don't know why you do. Well, I do know why, but
a wise old man told me always talk to old men with parrots. They might have a treasure.
That was a predator.
That explains the molestation.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, when I'm physically dead, I'm dead, and that's the end of it. So.
Well, do you care about your life?
Yeah.
Do you love living?
Yeah, of course.
So I don't want you to end up in hell. You seem like a nice guy. I'd hate God to give you what you deserve on Judgment Day. How old are you, Jorgen?
68.
How long have you got to live?
Probably another 20 years. If somebody would tell me you're going to die next month, I said, okay, I've lived a full life and have very few regrets, so I'm ready to go.
And so at the age of 20, I thought, why on earth won't people talk about death? It was just why? It just makes no sense. Everything is futile if death comes at the end.
Right, the fact that life ends means that while you do exist, it does mean things. It means more than if it didn't ever end. And I that sounds scary to you or something. There's a reason people cling on to that everlasting life, and sometimes even like non-religious but not atheist people do. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm spiritual, so your soul your ghosts exist or whatever." It sounds scary to not exist, but it's fine. Like, non-existence will be nothing because you won't experience it. So it's okay. I don't know. I don't actually know the intrinsic value of living forever. It doesn't really have any.
It strikes me as really sad because we hear Ray's basically his whole conversion story in this movie.
It was like this scare of mortality.
And it literally, the only reason he's Christian is it's an argument from consequences. Because if he doesn't, then that means there's nothing, and he's afraid of that. And that's sad.
Which I get. I mean,
get it, but it makes
think
me sad.
Existentially speaking, people can get freaked out by that, but like, I feel we won the cosmic fucking lottery here.
Right.
Like the odds of us existing are pretty slim in the way that we exist.
Yeah.
Or they're pretty slim given just like how we even reproduce, let alone this planet that has life that and to him that sounds like proof of God or something. But to me that's less proof of God. That lessens the amount of proof he has for it. And I don't know how we can hear the same data sets and come to so vastly different conclusions. But it's so weird, and it kind of makes me sad that Ray thinks when he dies, like, that's meaningless. Like, Ray, I want you to hear me right now. I assume you're talking. This is something I'm going to say that's moderately nice to you. Your existence has changed the world more than a lot of people. It's not necessarily good or bad, it just has changed it. That's like maybe a good thing, right? And it's not because of God. You get all the credit for that. Maybe you should take that as a compliment. I don't know. Is that a good thing? Did I say a good thing to him?
I don't know.
I don't know either, because I don't really think he's doing anything good, but I don't really think it's evil either. Except for the anti-abortion shit. Fuck you.
While we were in DC, I had agreed to do an interview with an atheist filmmaker named Scott Burdick. As with other atheists, he kindly gave me a free pass to share the gospel and didn't edit out one word.
You know, the sad thing is here, it's clear Ray understands the great gift it is to get your message out unedited because he requested that before that interview, that he be unedited, which makes it so much more intellectually dishonest and insulting when you see Ray's interviews that he edits himself and how chopped up they are because he knows how badly it makes it look, and yet he still does it. Ray, we also all see it. We also all see that. It's dishonest. And yes, again, your core group don't see it.
But they're going to give you money regardless. You know what I mean? Like, you could ship them the unedited versions of these things and they'll still give you money.
Right.
You're not gaining any... I know that he, throughout this entire film, would be like, an atheist spread my message and they visit my Facebook page. And it's like... But not so that you'll make money from it. They're not giving you money. You have views. You don't necessarily get money from that. Maybe on YouTube a little bit, but do you even put ads on those?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So it's... it's just sort of sad. It's really weird. It's like you use this example of like Penn Jillette talking about how you should proselytize because if you really truly believe souls are gonna die, it's like watching someone stand in front of a truck and not stopping them. I feel like if I don't say that what you do is bad and then we don't explain it to you, I feel like we're watching a boat sink called the SS Ray Comfort.
Sure.
And we're not throwing a raft.
Yeah.
So it feels bad. I don't know if you're struggling financially or whatever, but this movie was like tossed together.
Yeah.
And you charged people. It's sad, man.
Banana Man had opened doors once again. Theoretical physicist Professor Lawrence Krauss had also agreed to an interview while we're in DC. Then he said, I'd like you to meet my friend, Penn Jillette. Penn Jillette? For some reason, Penn wanted to sit in on the interview. I knew why, but I didn't mind.
You know, and I think, Ray, you might want to fuck Penn Jillette here, which is fine. I'm here for that if you want to let your pride flag wave. I would watch that. I would watch every second of that happen. Can you imagine if they fell in love and had a romance?
Taylor would be devastated.
But Penn's so tall and Ray's so short, but he's got the mustache so he still looks like the top. Whew! That gets me going a little bit. I'm still gay! Nah, she shut me out now. She's gone.
Banana you're using is not, in fact, was a product of intelligent design because original bananas didn't have that shape at all. You know?
Now, I've noticed Richard Dawkins has used the routine 3 times on television, and he's got laughs every time, but he's given me attribution, so I appreciate it.
Ray again is trying to play the banana thing off as a joke, and yes, he may have meant it partially tongue-in-cheek, but that doesn't change the fact that it's clear he actually didn't know natural bananas don't look like that. He seemed to genuinely believe that bananas features points to a design. I know it's not a joke because he still claims natural things are self-evident designs, like in previous films he uses trees or other plants as an example. Like in Evolution vs. God, you talk about like trees, like those are clearly designed.
The human eye!
He does the same thing today, he just substitutes banana for tree.
Right, so it's not funny, it's still... it still isn't funny for the reasons you think it's funny.
Seriously, Kurt, the whole of creation testifies to the genius of God's creative.
You probably think that's some kind of spoof. It's not. Ray Comfort and Kirk Cameron are deadly serious.
No, we're not, Professor. In context, sir, we're making fun of atheism. But you can't see that because you really do think that atheism is intellectual. You don't see that what you believe is truly ridiculous.
In what way is making inaccurate statements about bananas a criticism or comedy bit on atheism? It isn't. This stinks to me, and I know there's the whole Coke can thing. This really reeks to me of Ray.
He also grabs an apple at one point. Does the same exact thing.
Of Ray after the fact, like 10, 20 years on. It's like he's sick of people bringing up this banana thing, and it really legitimately hurts him to the core, and he really wants him to stop. So he put out this movie.
But it's not going to make him stop.
And the entire movie's like, I'm over it, guys. I'm super. It doesn't bother me at all. Look how much it helped me spread my message. A, no, it fucking didn't. B, it's still funny. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
Why not just say, as Ray Comfort, out loud, I was wrong about bananas. This isn't good evidence for, God. Divine intervention.
But he can't say that because he's still using those arguments. He's just changed the banana to a tree or whatever else.
Honestly, I can spin this for you a little bit. It doesn't really make it not funny, but at least makes a counter argument needed or something. You basically say, well, yeah, but without God's knowledge, you wouldn't be able to do the thing, and then you can kind of try to spin it. I know you gish gallop away, so maybe you can branch off into 4 different subjects at the same time. But like for instance, he uses the argument that cameras are just rip-offs and imperfect ones of God's creation of the eye.
Yeah.
Like, just start going in that direction or something, because at least it's a different topic, and it gets us away from you talking about how bananas are fucking God-like.
For anyone who doesn't understand what's going on, we're getting so bored debunking how bad they are.
We're giving you counter arguments.
You better counter arguments.
It's crazy. It's crazy, Ray.
You're making it boring for us. Stop it. We're doing
Stop us.
We're doing both of our jobs. Do yours so we can do ours. Let it go, you fucking banana weirdo.
Atheism is infinitely more ridiculous than believing that a soda can made itself from nothing.
Okay, and this is the last time. This is the last time I'm talking about it. Maybe not, but probably. And it's a stale topic, but you give God attribution in regards to the genius of the banana design, and that's where the joke fails. Because you say, God put a tab on the top. It counteracts. So are you ridiculing God, or are you ridiculing people that see God's design in things like a banana? I suppose it could also be that you don't understand how jokes work, but the target of the banana bit can only be atheists are stupid because they don't see God's hand in creation, or that seeing God's hand in creation is in something like a banana is stupid. You have to pick. The only two options for that punchline are those. Are we stupid because obviously God designed the banana, he didn't design that we did? Or are you stupid? Because but those are the only two, that's the thing.
The second one is why atheists find it funny.
Have I explained this joke yet? I can't believe we are doing an hour on a bad joke.
He did an hour movie on a bad joke.
He did 20 years on a bad joke. I'm disheveled now. Look at what you've done.
Yeah, the coif.
I'm disheveled.
The coif got uncoiffed. Yeah, lick that back into place. Much better.
Is that better, or do I look like a pederast?
About the same. So, yes.
About 5 minutes after my interview with Lawrence Krauss, I was standing with our production crew on the sidewalk outside the hotel. I shared the complete gospel with Penn, taking him through the 10 Commandments into the cross. We spoke about the difference between faith and trust.
I want to thank you for that little video you made about a guy that gave you a Gideon Bible. Yeah. That was the most perceptive thing I've ever heard from any atheist or even non-Christian.
Penn and Paul, in an effort to end another conversation that had started, stepped onto the road and were almost killed. This is what Penn said on his podcast soon after the incident.
I like that it doesn't bother Ray badly at all, that his personality is so repellent that
Penn wanted to jump into traffic
to get away from him. Listen, Ray, I just get this from the videos I see when you talk to people. When you're really into talking to someone, you get up in their personal space, and
it's a little bit too much.
I'm assuming you think this is a power move. This is some stupid bullshit,
or he's socially weird. Like maybe in New Zealand they get up into each other's personal space because Ray's so small.
I don't know, but either way. Clearly Penn Jillette was trying to get away from you, and was trying to get away so fast, he almost got hit by a car.
Right, and the way you framed his quote made it like he was like, oh, it was divine intervention or something.
Like, no, he just wanted to get away from the person bugging him.
He was making a joke about how he wanted to get away from you so bad, he almost ran him and his friend into an oncoming car. That's the joke. Again, he just doesn't understand jokes. I think that's Ray. Ray, come on the show. We'll teach you some jokes. We'll do a clean chick tract with Ray. Can you believe it?
Oh, boy.
Clean. I won't swear, and if I do, we'll do another take. Right? Okay.
Let's prove it.
All you have to do is do what the Bible says, repent and trust in him who died on the cross for you. Maybe tonight you'll have a little kind of minor heart attack on your bed, and you'll think about the issues of life and death, and you'll say, I better get right with God before death seizes upon me, because this is so important. God knows when you're going to die. You don't, and there's something in you that says, oh, I don't want to die.
Okay. Ray, are you exploiting the death of this man? Here's a joke.
I don't have a joke. My joke is just,
Yeah,
basically, you told this guy...
That's a joke.
You told this guy...
I
hope you have a heart attack.
And then he got hit by a fucking car. And then you finish the joke, and the punchline is... Close. I was right, though. Like that. Like there's a joke to be made. You can't just exploit his death to make DVD sales, because that feels bad. You can turn heel, and make a joke at this dead man's expense, and that'll be funny, right?
But he doesn't.
He doesn't understand the joke. He doesn't understand why it's funny.
Anyway,
you could have a heart attack or hit by a car, and then he did, and he died and went to hell. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Anyway,
sorry, Jurgen.
So this is where Jurgen sat, day after day, month after month, year after year. The day is coming when those who are fools for Christ will be seen to be wise.
It is. It looks just like, a normal copy.
Made in Heaven, a publication filled with beautiful photos.
I was thinking as I was reading Banana Man, and you were writing about Penn Jillette, Evidence Bible.
So that was you that gave him that Bible?
I gave him the Bible, and I gave him an Evidence Bible that you put out.
And the real reason we're here, folks, so Ray can hawk some books at you, as is tradition, for $70 fucking dollars.
Are you okay, Ray? Do you need money? I got a basement.
I think Ray's desperate for a little bit of dough.
That's fine. We all fall on hard times.
I got a spare room, Ray. You want to come over and start renting?
I'm just saying, man. It's oh, Ray. Also, for the record, I watched the credits. Did you watch the credits?
No.
We get snubbed from the thank yous.
How dare you?
What the fuck, Ray?
We were in the movie.
We were in the movie, and you used a clip, and you used several screenshots of our shit, and you didn't give us a thank you? Send another basket! Send another basket, Ray! And this time, 2 of them!
Fewer pears, more chocolate.
More pears! More bread. Send some bread. Send me a bread basket, Ray.
And get better at your job.
Come on! Please. Step it up a little bit. Go out on the streets. Talk to the people. Tell them that... go out and be anti-trans or something fun. Something fun we can have fun with. This is just sad.
At this rate,
it's sad the whole time.
If you keep going like this, there's going to be no Christians in 10 years, and we're not going to be able to do this job.
Well, I don't really care about that necessarily, because I'll be living in a utopia. It'll be fine.
Anyway.
Nah, we'll be with a bunch of incels. Jordan Peterson will be the new Jesus.
You can always follow us on Twitter at PapaBirdJake. You can follow me at Hugo Reloaded.
You can also subscribe to the channel and watch all of our other Ray Comfort content, all of which had more inspired Ray Comfort propaganda tools that he had employed. This one's Please pay attention to me, don't be mean.
This is a vanity piece.
Which is fine if... You know what? I want a documentary about Ray's life.
I want a docudrama about Ray's life where Ray is played by...
Daniel Day-Lewis.
I was going to say Commissioner Gordon from...
that guy. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yes.
Book of Eli.
Yes.
Lots of stuff.
Gary Oldman!
That's the one. We did it. We came to a name.
Gary Oldman will
And then
play
Kirk Cameron can be played by Kirk Cameron because he's an actor.
No,
he's got the chops.
A better actor should play Kirk Cameron so I can believe it's
Are
Kirk
there
Cameron.
better actors than Kirk Cameron?
Do other actors exist? Then yes.
Jesse from God's Not Dead 2. The lawyer.
That's the end of this episode. If you want to help support the show, here's our Patreon. We also have a P.O. box you can send stuff to. I can't really touch it because it's a post effect, so none of this is doing anything.
None of that's doing nothing.
But I can imagine it's like reverse, it's here, but it's not.
Next time on the show, Jordan Peterson. That'll be fun. What is that? What are you doing there?
I maybe took a hit before we started.
I noticed. I don't think it was just one. Your brain's jello. It doesn't work after just one. It's like a Pringle can.
When we turn the camera off, will the text go away?
No, I could keep the text on after the camera as shown here.
Can
I had to put it back up though because
Can I use the P.O. box text to sleep on tonight? I feel like it looks very comfortable.
Okay. Camera's back on, text is gone, and intervention is coming.
See you then.
See you then. Here's the talking pillow.